Hello, I'm Theodore Parker, and this is the Side Show. Today is Monday, July 18th, just coming off the weekend. Don't forget about the mask. I guess as looking over the weekend, since I am where I'm at, close to Indiana, one of the biggest news was someone entered the mall with a long gun, a rifle, and several magazines and proceeded to start shooting. 3 people dead, several others wounded. But in the crowd was someone with a gun who shot and killed the perpetrator of the mass shooting. So, on that point, so much for revision of the concealed carry law, I would say. Indiana, near Indianapolis. The news today, coming off the weekend, an assortment of things. Try to get through it kind of quickly. For a Monday, right now the temperature sits around 70 degrees and feels like 70, going up into the middle 80s in this area. First off, Russia-Ukraine war. Zelensky removes top officials. Moscow prepares for next offensive. Now, this was kind of new to me, strange, coming off the side of things. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has removed the country's head of the security service and the prosecutor general, claiming more than 60 of their employees have been working against Ukraine in Russia-occupied territory. He added that 651 criminal proceedings have been registered relating to high treason and collaboration by employees of prosecutors' offices, pretrial investigation bodies, and other law enforcement agencies. Ergo, the expression cleaning house. Okay, number 2, frustrated Democrats' small drastic step challenging Biden in 2024. The chances that Biden could attract a primary challenger are rising amid devastating polling numbers with Democrats and particularly young voters. Excuse me. Okay, that remains to be said. We're fighting so hard, demonstrated by the January 6th Committee for the Democratic Process. This is a part of it. Trump tried to circumvent that. See the results of it as the investigation is ongoing. As far as young voters is concerned, if you're not in school, then you're old. I have a tendency to tell people that ask me that question, probably older than you. We used to make comments about old people when they was in their 20s and 30s and so forth and so on. So, young voters have an opportunity to express themselves on this one. Steve Bannon goes on trial for defying January 6th panel subpoena. Steve Bannon, who once served as former President Donald Trump's chief strategist, goes on trial Monday for defying a subpoena from the House Select Committee that's investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. 4, Trump told allies that legal immunity from being president is a motivation to run in 2024. Now, I think I've covered this previously, that due to the way his presidency went when he was in office, that according to the Constitution, he cannot run for president again. But this is just a report on how he's thinking, I would think. Donald Trump believes that a 2024 bid will give legal protection, Rolling Stone magazine reported. Trump faces a possible criminal investigation over the Capitol riot amid other probes. Trump is rumored to be planning an early campaign launch in the fall. So I wouldn't want to use this as an early warning system, but again, more insight as to how the man's thinking is going despite real life reality situations that are in place. Number 5, and after this, it kind of goes downhill as far as, the say what category rating. Foxtail nightclub forced to close after woman does something unbelievably lewd with a bottle. In Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, a nightclub closed after an obscene video of one of its customers went viral. In the shocking footage, a lady is seen having a bottle pushed into her vagina in front of startled spectators at the infamous pool party venue Foxtail Sky Bar. I think isn't that what Amber Heard accused Johnny Depp of doing to her under the influence of alcohol and drugs? Okay. Although the exact time of the event is now unknown, the club announced on Tuesday, which probably was last week, that it would stop activities at the venue. The club declared on its website and Instagram that the safety and well-being of its customers and employees is the number one concern. So that's taken care of. Just tell me if I'm broke. Millionaire Simone Biles, gymnastic fame, revealed her flaw in managing finances. She was in an interview, and by way of explanation, she was telling the person that was giving the interview that if she started speaking gymnastics to her, that it's an entirely different language than what she's used to. So when people speak finances to Simone, she's not familiar, so she just says, just tell me if I'm broke. That being said, according to Forbes, Simone is the 4th highest paid athlete in the female category. Simone earned her first money prize at the age of 12, which she used to make the down payment on her new home. So, however she views herself, she has managed with the help of some people. Now, here we are again. R. Kelly insists he's not gay after male accuser claims he forced him to perform oral sex. This again is related to R. Kelly's being sentenced to 30 years. Early on in psych evaluation, they have a Kinsey scale where a person rates their interest in sex with the opposite sex and so forth and so on. So R. Kelly gave himself a 1, which means that he was basically heterosexual and only had experience in same-sex adventures as experimental, et cetera, to a bare minimum. So it seems that in his 2021 trial, not seems, it's a fact because the person stepped forward and testified, despite this being done prior to his sentencing this time. But in his 2021 trial, there was a young boy, 17 years old, named Lewis, who worked in the drive-thru at the local McDonald's, and R. Kelly approached him based on whether or not he was interested in a music career and told him to come by the studio. So R. Kelly questioned him as to whether or not he had fantasies about men and sex and things of this nature. So as things would have it be, R. Kelly ended up performing oral sex on this young man. So repeatedly. So this is why the charges read that he was guilty of why he was sentenced to 30 years, and this was not the only incident, it was more attached to it, similar to this situation with this young man named Lewis from the drive-thru in the local McDonald's. R. Kelly was eventually sentenced to 30 years in jail on June 29th for masterminding a scheme to entice and sexually exploit young aspiring singers and underage children. Moving on. Trans inmate who impregnated women at New Jersey jail moved to men's prison. I'm pretty sure I covered this when it came up previously, that there was a transgender man in jail that impregnated two female prisoners. Excuse me. So anyway, here it is again. This is in New Jersey. So this prisoner who got two fellow inmates pregnant at New Jersey's only women prison has been moved to a men's prison where she is being held in a vulnerable unit. And that's a whole nother discussion. She is, when the gender is male. Macy Gray was doing an interview or allowing an interview with a broadcast journalist. And Macy made the comment that in regards to, transgender and things that are going on in the world of athletes and the LGBTQ plus community in general, she said, yeah, if you want me to call you a she, I can do that, but her point that she made was you still who you are, because what you are missing is that little girl experience. And if you have not had that, then you're not a woman. So I took it, at its face value, what Macy Gray was saying, and for its worth. So here we go. Serving a 30-year sentence for stabbing her foster father to death, is 27-year-old claims she was mocked when asked to be strip searched when she asked for it to be done by a woman. And the guards allegedly called her a he over 30 times. So this is this person's complaint. And according to the article, they are housing this person in the juvenile area. Excuse me. And just when I thought that was something, powers that be, they put him over there. But here we go. Brazilian anesthesiologist arrested for allegedly raping Black woman during C-section. Now, I'm a man. I'm saying I'm putting that out there to qualify what this is about. Now, I know what a C-section is. Okay. So how is this person going to do all this? Anyway, it goes on. Last week, a 32-year-old anesthesiologist, Giovanni Quintella Becerra, was arrested on July 10th after allegedly orally raping a Black woman that was undergoing a C-section in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. While under heavy sedation, Becerra was recorded doing the act by other hospital workers. So that just kind of like turned me off, what's that? But it seems this way. Becerra was the anesthesiologist, and he was in, birth control, birthing area. And the way he was sedating the people, the women, they weren't able, even when they came out of the delivery room, able to hold their own child. So that caused eyebrows to raise. Plus, in this particular instance, after they noticed this with several patients, they set up a camera because by him being an anesthesiologist, he worked in the patient's facial area or head area, and there was a screen between him and the other surgeons. So they set the camera up to see what was going on. So this man, in this particular instance where he actually got caught, the husband had been sent out of the room, and excuse me, but he just took out his penis and put it in the woman's mouth. And that's where the charge for oral rape comes in at. So when the other staff members and surgeons saw it, then they reported him. Okay? So he's looking to serve some hard time on that one. And here we go back into Celebrityville again. Video resurfaces of Kris Jenner making inappropriate advances towards stepson Brody Jenner. Well, let me qualify this one. Caitlyn Jenner's son says he has saw her 6 times in 17 years while she was married to Kris Jenner. So the comment and the remark was everybody sitting around, as is usually portrayed by Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And Kris is putting, I guess, suntan lotion on Kris Jenner's son's back, Brody. And she remarks that he has a back just like his father. Well, Brody is there with his wife, right? But Kris had also made some kind of comment about sex games or sexy games or something like that. So Chloe spoke up and said, "Ooh, Mom," like that. So it's all on the episode. So because of the comment, and the man is there with his wife and his brother, everybody's saying, no, that's not appropriate. But those are the broad details of the situation, besides some other things that have come out about Kris in regards to some of her staff. Moving on to this one. Biden accuses Saudi officials of lying after claims they didn't hear him confront MBS over Khashoggi murder. Now, this is kind of debatable because I was watching the news clip of him arriving, and it's kind of speaks to MBS's age and position that he decided he was going to fist bump with Biden. So at that point, probably a lot of people missed it. Biden said, "So what about Khashoggi?" Right at that particular point when they fist bumped, and you notice that MBS's expression kind of froze like that, an expression. So that's when it was. The meeting was behind closed doors and private, so I don't know what happened after that. But I heard that. If you didn't hear it, that's how much attention you was paying. But I was watching, I heard him say that. And again, to kind of broaden it up, Khashoggi worked for the Washington Post. He was Saudi Arabian, was married. But MBS, the Crown Prince, invited him, or where he murdered him at was in the Saudi embassy. So now that I'm thinking about it, was you talking about the Saudi embassy here in the States? Is that it? No way. Okay, but anyway, at the Saudi embassy, that's correct. I'm pretty sure. Yes. But it was just so Biden was taking the stance of human rights, humanitarian rights, and other things that have been violated when this occurred. So their response was, on the Arabian side, was that mistakes do happen. The United States do make mistakes, and they have taken precautions to make sure that it doesn't happen again in Saudi Arabia like that. So there we have it. Some of the items in the news, local, international, and national. It's Monday, July 18, 2022. Rest of the week ahead. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. That's it. Hashtag.